All right. Hello. Hello. I guess we'll start a little bit early because why not? Uh, Let me know if, by the way, comment if everything's working correctly. I'm quite terrible at setting up streams, so I don't know if my mic is peaking constantly or the volume's all completely off. I really don't know. Um, so there's that. I also have this lo-fi in the background, so shouts to Amni. I'm just gonna play it in the background. I might switch it. I don't know, just have nice background music. Also, let me turn on my mic a little bit. Actually, I think it's peaking a bit. Um, let me adjust these settings. I'm really good at this. You can tell. Also, hopefully the live chat actually works. It's my first time actually setting it up. So let's hope it actually updates. Okay, it is. That's good. Okay, so I think I actually set this up correctly for once, which is a miracle in of itself. Also, let me know if you can hear me, because like I don't even know. I have no idea if I did any of this right. Because there's a very high chance I didn't. So I really hope you can hear me. You know, let's trying to let me know if that's too loud. Just let me know if any of these settings are wrong. I started a little bit early just so I could test out some stuff, you know, all that junk. I'm actually let me check on my phone and see if it's all working real quick. Okay, I'm just gonna double check though. All right.
How to add a chat on your stream.
Oh shit, that was loud. Okay. I always hate when YouTube opens up on shorts. Okay, let's see. Let me just double check. No, thank you, sponsor. Whoa. Okay, it's working. All right. Don't need that phone. Actually, I don't know why I threw it back. Whatever. It's fine. Oh, it's the first time you've ever seen my face. Yes, this is the rad lad in person. Wow. Come on, C-Rex. Space Godzilla's cool, but you know. Yeah, I mean, I can't really handle the delay part. I don't really know how to fix, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Maybe, possibly, sort of. Anyways, I'm gonna wait till it actually hits 6:30 to actually start with the tier list. I'm just, you know, waiting for people to get in, you know, all that fancy junk. You know, all the fun stuff. Just check that stuff out. Yeah. So actually, you know, in the meantime, let me design these tiers. So I've done a Godzilla movie tier list before, but like that was not on stream or anything. It was just kind of something I did in my free time. My opinions have changed a lot since I think you can probably check my post section. If you scroll down far enough, you'll see like all my old tier lists I did. My opinions have changed a little bit on some of them, so this will be different than that one was. And also we have, you know, I had the Mothra movies because I like Mothra. No Rodan though. I have yet to actually watch the original Rodan film, so I gotta get to doing that. You'd think by this point I would have eventually gotten around to it, but I haven't. So there's that. Also, this one has like a couple TV shows. I have seen both of these, so I'll slap them on the list too, because why not? But let me get these tier lists now. That's 6:30. Let's start with this. So this is gonna be. Yeah, I think this seems to be the fitting name for this. I mean, King of the Monsters tier. The Millennium series? I mean, Millennium is just a cool word, honestly. Okay, so that'll be King of the Monsters. I think that's good for an S tier. You know, it's the king. And then for second, you know, we'll actually match the name of the letter. Atomically Awesome. I think that's a good name for A tier. And then for B tier, we'll have I think it's like this. F tier is just like the movies that are awful, like the ones I never want to watch again. D is like, you know, it could be better. We can change the name of these tiers later. It's like, actually, no, it's like you know what? I think that's a good way to describe it. It's not terrible, but it's like, okay, I actually like Manila. I actually like the Manila tier. That's good. No, that's actually funny as hell. Okay, but Giant Condor. I still prefer Giant Condor towards Manila, to be honest. Hopefully this me eating popcorn doesn't like pick up on my astronomically. Let's see. Surprisingly not as terrible as I thought it would be. All right. You know what? No disrespect to Ibara, but this I feel like Ibara. I feel like if any tier is gonna, if there's any kaiju that would be like a D tier, I think it's Ibara. Like I don't hate Ibara or anything, but like I feel like there's not that many passionate Ibara fans. Because I remember I actually did a poll I did for like what Godzilla short I would do. I remember one comment was like Ibara getting the disrespect he deserves, and I'm like, okay, you don't need to be that disrespectful to Ibara. Like, come on, give the giant lobster a break, please. Like, come on. Okay. You know, B is for based, honestly. Like, it's a movie that it's good. It's not quite like amazing tier, but you know, I'd watch it. So, you know, I'm actually not going to disrespect Ibra like that. We'll just do it's like passable. It's like it's not the worst, and then C will be like. Actually, no. I think C is just it's decent. Like, you know, it's not terrible. It's fine. It gets the job done, but. And this will be Manila tier is like the worst of the worst. This is like needs work. You know what? I think that's what we'll call that tier. Oh, Keratox. Any film S tier should be any film with Gigan. You know what? That's fair. That's fair. And I will say there is definitely at least one movie that has Gigan that will be in that tier. Even though I'm feeling like only two actually, but one of them will be up there. Don't worry. It might be a spoiler for the list, but it's fine. It's okay. Also, is this music too loud? I have no idea. Do we want to name all the tiers after kaiju? I'm curious. Let's do like a little in the comments. Should we do every single tier being a different kaiju? Because I'm down to change. Like I'll keep like the actual description, but I'll like put the top like. Yeah, let's try that. Yeah. So obviously I'll have Godzilla tier. Oh boy, that did not do the thing I wanted to do. Okay. Oh boy. Let's just yeah, we got Godzilla tier. Actually, no. Here's the thing. Godzilla's great, but I mean, if it wasn't obvious from my earrings, the poster in the back, or even these that literally have, you know, moths on them, it's Mothra tier. She's my favorite kaiju. I mean, I'm pretty, like, literally I have the script of that episode writing right there, so Mothra tier. Then we'll put, you know, Godzilla tier. At Godzilla, that's not right. Yeah. So Ibra, you know, I think they'll put Ibra back where they belong. What's a kaiju that's just like average that nobody? It's not like bad or good. They're just kind of there. What's a good kaiju for like C tier? Put Angyrus there. No, I think as much love in guys, I think, you know, King Ghidorah deserves there. You know, let's do that. You get four of the big. We don't need Mechagodzilla on here. We get all the kaiju that are important. Ibra gets a little bit of thing here. All right, we got the tiers. We can change them later. It's fine, but I think we're spending a bit too much time on just okay. This music, I need to turn. Oh, I can't turn down any more than I already is. Okay. You know, it's fine. We'll change the music at some point, but no, not that. Okay. I think this is good. Okay. So let's get started. I'm not going to go completely in order. I'm going to kind of jump around a bit, but I think for the sake of everything, we'll start with the original Godzilla. And, I mean, yeah, obviously it's going to be in the highest tier. Like, It's the one that started it all. The original 54 film is a masterpiece. I don't think you need me to tell you that. And I think we can all agree that the original belongs in S tier. Because it's just that good. Like, it has some of the best human characters in the entire franchise. A lot of the action sequences honestly still hold up to this day. And, of course, it is incredibly historically significant. It's just, you really can't go wrong with the original. If you're going to watch all the Godzilla movies, you got to start with this one. It's great. It's fantastic. And you know what? Let me pull up a YouTube tab so we can, play scenes if we need to. Because I don't want to... I'm not sure how long the stream is going to be. So, we'll pick it up. You can see my recommended... see how cursed it is. It's just like... Stuff like this is just... Like, this... let me increase that. But, like, stuff like this. Like, I think this still holds up to this day. Like, this scene is honestly still, like, pretty impressive to this day. Especially back in 1954 with the budgets they had. Like, you just can't beat it. It's just so good. And, of course, it gave us the iconic, like... Yeah, I think we can... There's not much else you can really say. Alright. Also, let me, Not usually a huge fan of live streams, but Godzilla tubers are the exception. Based. It's 2009, back when I started walking. We were at my nanny's house. Granddad. And we stopped on Godzilla Final Wars, and I loved it. Well, don't worry. We'll get to Final Wars eventually. Yeah, no, I actually do agree. Mogar Prime. Every original film is usually the best in the series, it feels like. Like, the original Jurassic Park's, like, one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, it's, like, my second favorite, actually. I love the original Jurassic Park. But anyways, speaking of... but a lot of times, sequels aren't the best. And Raids Again... actually, let me make a new tier here. This will be, like, the decision tier, so I'll put it here so you know what is being discussed. Let's actually call it the discussion tier if we're going to do that. Okay, so... Raids Again. I have a soft spot for Raids Again. I actually really like it. It's not the best. It's very clearly rushed. It was made in like 6 months. But personally, I really like it. I think the fight scenes are a little goofy, but it introduced Anguirus, so like, come on. That gives Raids Again a bit of an edge already. Oh, not Ibra. Come on, don't put Raids Again in Ibra tier. It has one of my favorite human characters. Okay, Kobayashi. Let's take a minute here to. God, let's just pretend that's how you spell it. Wait, why is it? What is this title? Godzilla Raids Again. Funniest moments. Classic scene. Kobayashi. Minoru Chiaki said. It's 1 second long. Okay, sure. But, like, okay, how can you hate this movie when, like, this design is not good? I think we can, but I love it. It's so bad. Like, come on. This movie is so stupid that it works for me. And I, like, how are we gonna say this is Ibra tier? Come on. Yeah, long live Kobayashi. Like, this scrap, I love this, like, old kind of, like, nonsensical scrap match. I like how fast-paced it is, honestly. The suit is bad. I'm not denying that, but I kind of love how bad it looks. It has a certain charm to it that makes me appreciate it. And, like, dude, like, this is, like, so aggressive. I actually like how aggressive this fight style is. Like, I actually do like this fight scene a lot. It is very entertaining, as dumb as it can sometimes look. But I think, personally, I'm gonna move it around, but I'm gonna put it in Rodan tier for now. But be warned, depending on how the rest of the list goes, I might put it in King Ghidorah tier because I love Raids Again. I really have a soft spot for it, and I wanna, put more movies to kind of judge my actions. But actually, you know what? Screw it. I don't care. I like this movie. It's dumb and bad, but it's good. If that makes any sense. All right, King Kong versus Godzilla. Above, I'd say it's the same tier for me. Above definitely Raids Again, but I mean, King Kong vs. Godzilla is the first crossover movie for Godzilla, and it's pretty good. I mean, it served as like the framework for a lot of later Godzilla films, like versus films, because Raids Again was pretty different. Like, I mean, he killed Anguirus like before the third act, which is pretty unusual for most Godzilla films. Usually, like, they have a big final battle with the other monster, but King Kong vs. Godzilla, I think it really did pave the framework, and also King Kong won, so that was interesting that he won, because the whole who won in a different region thing is a total myth. It's just King Kong wins in both regions. But I like this movie. It's been a while since I've seen it. My favorite part of it, honestly, though, is the insane reporter guy, like the head of the reporting company. I don't remember his name. Let's see. It's been a while since I've seen a few of these movies, so you're gonna have to give me some. Okay, actually, wait. I might move it up into Godzilla tier, but I'm gonna leave it at King Ghidorah tier, because again, we're gonna get more films that'll adjust. Like, these movies are probably gonna change, you know. So I don't like think that this is where it's gonna be permanently. I mean, 54 is gonna be there the entire time, but the other two, they could change, so we'll have to see. Okay, I'll leave King Kong vs. Godzilla there for now. I mean, I think Kong sticking the tree in Godzilla's mouth is enough to bump it up. I mean, let's just watch the scene. You know, we got time. We got time here. I do think this is stupid. I get the whole, like, they developed the plot line of having the super, like, resilient string, but, like, Kong flying in on balloons will never be cool to me. I just think it looks so goofy. And I feel like it's not the craziest entrance, but I think this fight's fun. It's really dumb, but I like it. I can't hate it. Especially when when does the scene come up? Oh, look, can we talk about how terrible Kong's suit looks like in this movie? Like, his suit looks really bad. And then Godzilla looks okay when you're not looking at him from the front, but where's the scene with where's the good scene? There it is. This alone at least puts it into King Ghidorah tier. Oh, goodbye, Ben. Don't worry, I'll praise Gigan, don't worry. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair tier for it. And let's move on to Mothra vs. Godzilla. This is my... Honestly, could go up there. I think I'm going to leave it in Godzilla tier for now, because Mothra vs. Godzilla is my second favorite Showa movie. Like, it's my second favorite after the original. I love Mothra vs. Godzilla. Of course, because it has Mothra. Naturally, my Mothra bias is quite insane, but... Basically, if Mothra is in the movie, it will probably get a higher score, because that's just how I work. I think this movie serves as a great sequel to the 1961 Mothra, which, by the way, I'm going to just quietly put that up in Mothra tier, rather appropriately. Mothra vs. Godzilla is great. Great fight scene against Mothra and Godzilla. I love how actually intimidating Godzilla is in that movie. It's the last time Godzilla was kind of the villain of the Showa era. I think they did a great job with that. And also, I don't hate Masu Gojira as much as I used to. I've turned around on the design. Let's take a look. Everyone memed on me for hating this design. And you know what? It's not that bad. I was being too mean against it. You can't actually see it because of how the stream's set up. Let me get out of the wiki then. I don't hate this design anymore. Oh my god, stream. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, there you go. Okay. I like this design now. I think this design is cool. I don't know. I was too harsh to it in my original design ranking video. I like this design. Let's clear the water here. I like this design now. All right. Okay. Anyways. Yeah, Mothra vs. Godzilla, great movie. I don't think I need to explain why it's good. It just is. But the original 1961 Mothra is phenomenal. Genuinely phenomenal. I love the movie. Professor Chuho. I'm terrible at pronouncing stuff. My favorite character, might be my favorite character in the entire series, if I'm being blatantly honest. Wow, my English is fantastic. Yeah, this dude, best character in the entire franchise, in my opinion. I love this guy, and he shows back up in a later movie, so we'll be seeing him again. But anyways, I gotta move this up. I'm taking my sweet time. We're like 20 minutes in already. Okay. All right. Let me look at the chat. Megaguirus. I think I agree that Megaguirus would make a good Mothra villain. They kind of have a similar power set, and I've always felt like Megaguirus is sort of similar to Batra. Oh, sorry for not reading the plasma. Guardian was the first Godzilla toy Final Wars. I got him in Toronto. Toronto's a beautiful city. I was actually in Toronto a few weeks ago. And speaking of Final Wars, let me be right back real quick. Yeah. It's our boy Gigan. Rise! Or leave him there. Let's see. Yeah, he'll be peeking. You can see him right there, his little thing. Okay. Alright, I'm tired of the Showa era. Let's jump around a bit, you know? Let's go with a controversial take that I have. Godzilla vs. Biollante. I'm not a fan of this one. I don't really care for this one, to be honest. I like a lot of things about it. I love Biollante. I think Biollante is like one of my favorite kaiju, but like the problem with Biollante in this movie is that their actual like main form shows up for like 2 minutes total. And it's a cool fight scene, but it's also like the one cool part of the entire movie. And Bio Wars is a great song. I think we can all agree. Hopefully this doesn't get my stream like completely copyright claimed or whatever. But this movie at least puts like this definitely elevates the movie a lot for me. Just this song being as fucking phenomenal as it is. The thing is, like, I've seen it multiple times, and every time I've sat down trying to like it, I think my problem with it is I don't like the spy subplot with, like, the Indian guy, who, like, the Indian assassin. I thought the entire subplot was kind of stupid and took away from, like, the main plot. I feel like if they focus more on, like, kind of Biollante's, like, growth and stuff, and more on the horror scenes that they kind of like, I love the scene where, like, Biollante's first growing and she, like, kills those two robbers. I think that scene was really cool. I love the final fight scene. I love Rose Biollante, but just I kind of whenever I watch a movie, it just kind of leaves me feeling bored. I don't know why. I want to like this movie more than I do, but honestly, it's like for me, it's Rodan or even very high Ibara. But I think I want to see Biollante in something else that isn't this movie. I want to see her in a different movie that's better because like she deserves a bit better than Godzilla vs. Biollante. I don't hate the movie. I want to make that clear. I don't hate Godzilla vs. Biollante. I just don't really care for it. And I'd say it's probably my least favorite Heisei film. I kind of like everything more over it. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, back-to-back controversial takes. I do not care about Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. It is like it was the first Godzilla movie I watched that I'm just like, okay, this is kind of boring. I don't think this movie is very good. It does introduce Ghidorah, but I don't think they introduce him in a very compelling way, because all he does is destroy one city, and then he gets his ass kicked. And they do so much build up, like, oh my god, this is such a terrifying monster. He's destroyed an entire planet, dude. He's bad news. He gets beat up so easily that just kind of immediately makes him a joke. And I just don't like Showa Ghidorah that much. I don't think he's that cool. Also, I don't really like Rodan that much, at least in the Showa era. I don't like Rodan's design. It's like just looks really dumb to me. Like Showa, yeah. Like I just don't like this design. Just it's really not It's not my favorite. I have to be honest. Also, I just realized the music was turned off, so let's turn that back on. We'll leave Bile Wars running for a little bit. Well, I gotta turn it down on my end because God, it is loud. So that's probably not gonna be too long. Let me know if that's too low. But you know, I know a lot of people like Godzilla the Three-Headed Monster. I personally just don't get the hype for it because Invasion of Astro-Monster is like so much better. Invasion of Astro-Monster is so much better. It's like just a better version of that movie. And Invasion actually has the least amount of Godzilla screen time, I think, in the entire series, but I don't mind it because I think the actual human plot works so well because it goes back to a lot of older Toho films where it's like mostly about the aliens and the Zillions taking over the planet, and I love the human plot. And also, it's the only Showa movie that actually has, it's like one of the few Japanese Godzilla movies that actually has a good English-speaking character because I got an actual person, like a U.S. actor to play. Now let's do it in version of Astro. I forget. His name is Glenn, right? Yeah, Glenn Ammer. Who plays him again? I forget what American actor plays him. Cast. Yeah, Nick Adams. Like, let me move this out of the way again. Like, this dude, good-ass actor. Like, he is actually good. It's nice having an English actor in a Godzilla movie made in Japan that's, you know, not the typical, like, you can't launch these nuclear weapons. Or, actually, I think the scene from 84 is like, you have to launch these nuclear weapons, or you can tell your son when he's older, Mr. Spielberg. Like, this guy actually has good acting, and it's nice to see it, and he really carries a lot of movie, and he's also joined by Akira Takarada, who is, you know, the man, the myth, the legend, the greatest, like, he is, like, synonymous with Godzilla at this point. Like, the dude's amazing, and he's great in every lead role he has in the Showa era. I think that's just a fact. I don't even think you can debate that one. But, you know, he's a man, and Invasion of Astro-Monster, I love the alien plot. The Zillion plot works so well for me. It's the best execution of an alien plot I think any Godzilla movie has ever had. Outside of Final Wars, but we'll get to that one. But in terms of like the Showa era, best alien plot. Bar none. It's so good. I love Invasion. Ibara. Fittingly, I think... Actually, here's the thing about Ibara. I'm going to put it in Rodan tier. I love the first third of Ibara so much because I love the cast of Ibara. Like, the first few characters of Ibara. Like, the first third, I love the stupid dancing scene. Let me see if I can find it. Skinny, yeah. We love the skinny. No. Okay, well, actually, going back to Invasion of Astro-Monster, obviously, this alone puts it in Godzilla tier, honestly. Like, let's just take a little intermission here. Like, come on. You can't beat that. But, you know, Ibara, Ibara's a kaiju's kind of dumb, but I kind of wish this movie wasn't a Godzilla movie, because I think a more horror like a survival kind of thing. Like, you have these four main guys stranded on an island, and they have to escape Ibara. That movie would be awesome. And unfortunately, that's not what happens. Instead, you get, like, these weird, stupid, I don't even remember. It's like these weird cultist guys that like control Ibara, and they have like nuclear weapons, and they're trying to cause chaos, and it's just, and they like take over the local inhabitants of the island and like torture them. And it's just like, I really, really hate that plot line a lot. I think it's really dumb. It's so annoying because the first third, you have this small cast of characters that have so much good chemistry with each other. They're so much fun to watch. And you have that nice little opening scene with Ibra that establishes him as a threat, and then after that, he's not a threat. He's just like, he gets his ass kicked by Godzilla. And honestly, the one thing that really pisses me off is that Mothra is in the movie, but she does nothing until like the last 10 minutes, because the rest of the movie she's just spent sleeping the entire time, just like teasing you the entire time. It's like, oh yeah, Mothra's in this movie, but you gotta wait, you gotta keep waiting, you gotta wait endlessly for her to show up, and it annoys me. So you know what, no, Ibra, this movie has so many elements that I actually like about it, and it just doesn't quite hit it. You know what, for just pissing me off, like, because the first third is good enough to where it would go in Godzilla tier. The problem is the other 2/3 are in Ibra tier. So you know what? I think that knocks it down to Ibra tier, unfortunately, because just the last 2/3 of that movie, it could have been so good. It really could have, but it just doesn't. It just doesn't hit. All right, enough complaining about Ibra. Let's move on to let's do some jumping around. Let's talk about everybody's favorite. Everybody loves the Godzilla anime movies. Yeah. Woo! Oh yeah, this movie's Ibra. Like, actually, let me put it above like up. I kind of like it better than Ghidorah, but yeah, I think we can agree the anime movies are incredibly flawed. I actually don't hate them. I actually do like some elements of them. Not this one though. The first one kind of sucks. Like, I think the characters are at their most annoying in this one. The final scene's pretty cool, where they're on like the I'm just gonna call them flying jet skis. They're like flying scooters, like they're like floating motorbike. What? Who cares? That scene where they're fighting like the little Godzilla is pretty cool, and then the reveal of Godzilla Earth. I think the final scene of that movie is like the only reason why you'd ever want to watch it. But besides that, the anime trilogy is best in its 2 books that came out before the movies, like the 2 prequel books. That's the best part of the entire continuity, honestly, because it's so cool seeing like a nice detailed explanation of how the world got taken over by monsters. But unfortunately, the movies definitely don't capture that vibe, and especially not the first one. I think this one's quite bad. That being said, City on the Edge of Battle I actually think is a little bit better. I like the world building that it has, even if the actual Godzilla stuff's kind of weak in this movie. I like the world building. I think it's very fascinating. It reminds me of this anime called Made in Abyss, which is one of the few anime I actually like. And I think the world building's really cool. You know, it implies that Mothra's coming, like the whole like new Mothra tribe's really cool. And then they fumbled the bag with this one. I still think it's in like low Rodan tier. These are both in low Rodan tier because I like the world building, and that's what kind of carries them. It's very cool world building, and there's some cool scenes, but they reduced Mothra to a silhouette, which pisses me off. Like, I am so actually angry that they did that. They could have had an awesome fight scene with, you know, Mothra helping Godzilla Earth fight Void Ghidorah, and they just don't do it. They just don't do it. And it's so lame. I really like City on the Edge of Battle for some reason. I don't know why I do. I know it's like everyone's least favorite. I kind of like it. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I've seen much worse movies. Case in point, let's rip the Band-Aid off. Fuck this movie. I hate it. I think it's shit. I don't even think it works well as a standard monster movie. I just think it's terrible. Like, I found 1998 Godzilla incredibly boring when I watched it. It's the longest Godzilla movie, like I think it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes or something. It's the longest movie in the series. And it's the most boring. I don't even hate it because of, you know, Toragoji. Like, I don't actually even hate this design that much. Like, it's not a good Godzilla design, but as a monster design, I think it's actually pretty fucking cool. My problem is the way they, this could seem back, I guess. Like, I think this design actually kind of slaps a bit, but like this shot's cool. My problem is I hate the kind of main story of the military, because the military in this movie, they blow up more of New York than Godzilla does. They constantly try to kill Godzilla, even though this version is just trying to run away, you know, mind his own business. He's just trying to chill. and the military is just adamantly trying to murder this honestly kind of innocent creature, if I'm gonna be totally honest. Like, he's chill. And then the military kills him, and they treat it like it's a good thing, when I feel like the movie would be so much better if they highlighted that, yeah, we killed this monster, but at what cost? Because the military did way more damage than this creature did, and yet they still portray the military as the good guys, even though they're clearly the antagonists here. And it's so annoying, and it makes me hate the movie because it's pro-military, which is something a Godzilla film should never be. And that's what makes me pissed off about this film. The only good thing outside of like me actually liking Toragoji is I think it's Matthew Broderick. Yeah, Matthew Broderick's character, Nick Totopoulos, or as the movie likes to go, like Nick Totopatopo, Nick Tortellini, Nick Tutupatop. Like, it's not that hard of a name to say. Like, I don't know why they make that joke every time. Like, Totopoulos, like, is it really? Is it that hard? Matthew Broderick's character, great. I love his character. Everyone else, yeah, not great. This movie, it's just, as a monster movie, I find it boring. And as a Godzilla movie, yeah, no, this ain't a Godzilla movie. This is not a Godzilla movie. And as a monster movie, it's mid, but like, yeah, no. This is one of only 2 Godzilla movies that's gonna be in Manila tier. Because there's only 2 Godzilla movies I hate. But we'll get to the other one. We'll get to the other one that I actually hate. Because I don't hate any movie in Ibra tier onward. These are just the ones I'm like, I'm not, like, I don't really want to watch these again. They're like, who cares? Although I would want to, actually, I want to put Ibra tier. Ironically, I'm not going to put Ibra tier in Ibra tier. The more I think about it, I'd watch the first third of Ibra again. There's plenty of good things in Ibra that I'll put it a little bit higher. Yeah, I'm happy with that placement. I can always change it, I guess. Okay, what else should we do? Let's go back to Showa era. We have so many Showa. Son of Godzilla. I'd honestly put it in King Ghidorah tier if it wasn't for how horrendous Godzilla's design is in that movie. His design is so ugly. It is just, oh my god. It is so bad. Like, if the design was better, I'd put it in a higher tier, but he's so ugly. And of course, it introduced Manila. This abomination. I fucking hate Manila. I know he has his fans. I don't care. He's stupid. He's stupid. I don't like him. And Jesus Christ, like, what happened here? Like, what is this? What is this? Why what did they do to my boy? Come on. Look how they massacred him. This just like, why? Why does he look like that? Oh my. I think 98 can be considered as its own film. I don't really think it falls into any era. I think it's just kind of its own thing. It definitely kickstarted the Millennium era, but I don't think it's really a part of any era. It's just kind of its own weird thing. Son of Godzilla, though, everything about the movie is good except the kaiju designs. Because I think it honestly is kind of a better execution of Ibara's ideas, where it's like a bunch of people stranded on an island with monsters. And I think they do it really well. I just wish they had a good Godzilla suit and Manila wasn't there. But I actually like Son of Godzilla's story. So I'm going to put it a little bit higher because I like a lot of things about it. I just wish it had a better suit. Okay, what's next? Destroy all monsters. Boring. It's like honestly same level as Ibra for me. It's better than, it's like a slightly better version of Ghidorah the three-headed monster, but there's nothing else about Destroy All Monsters. Destroy All Monsters is a worse version of Invasion of Astro-Monster, and that's all I view Destroy All Monsters as. It has the worst aliens in Godzilla. Like, they're like they start with a K. What the heck is the aliens in Destroy All Monsters? Because like they're the lamest like aliens in the entire franchise. What are they called? I guess we're on Wikipedia. The Kylax, they're so forgettable. They are so forgettable. And the only good part of the entire film is right at the end, because they don't really even utilize the kaiju that much. Like, they'll show like one destruction scene of like Godzilla destroying New York or something, and it's like super brief and not that interesting. The only good part of Destroy All Monsters is literally the final battle. Well, I'm really good at spelling, apparently. Like, the final battle is good, but if I'm watching an hour and a half film and only, like, 5 minutes of it are actually good, like, you can't really call it a good movie at that point. It's just, at that point, just watch the final scene and then just skip the rest of the movie because you really don't need to watch it. It's not that engaging of a story because it's, again, just the same plot line basically reused from Invasion of Astro-Monster, just done worse. Okay, Gorosaurus is good. We do love Gorosaurus. Gorosaurus, he's peak. But, I don't know. Alvarian, I forgot, was in this movie as like a tiny little cameo. Also, let me turn the music back on. Doing Metroid Lo-Fi this time. Yeah, this works. But outside of that, it's not that interesting. I think it's kind of a boring movie. I gotta be completely honest. Alright. All Monsters Attack. Yeah, I'd prefer it over 1990. Here's the thing. Actually, no. I don't hate this movie, so I'm going to put it at the very bottom of Ebro tier. Like, but I don't hate it. Manila tier is only for 2 movies. And both movies ironically don't have Manila in them. So again, these tier names might be slightly questionable, but I don't hate All Monster Attack. It's not good. It's an hour long. It's mostly just a clip show, and it has Gabara, who's like the lamest kaiju of all time. But like, I could see it being a fun movie for like, younger kids to watch. Like, I feel like a young kid would get a kick out of it. Like, if I was like 6 and I watched this movie, I'd probably enjoy All Monsters Attack. It's not good, but I don't think it deserves the hate. It's a harmless little kids movie, and I think me putting it in like, I hate this, like, I don't hate it. I never want to watch it again, but I can't hate it. All right. After this, do a fish tier list. A fish tier list? What? I'm sorry, I'm not doing a fish tier list. I don't even know how to get enough mileage out of that. All right, so let's actually Rebirth of Mothra. I like this movie a lot. I really like the first Rebirth of Mothra. It's in the same vein, kind of aimed towards like kids, kind of like All Monsters Attack, although it can be enjoyed by all audiences, which is a nice change of pace. And I like this movie a lot because, yeah. But going back to All Monster Attack with Mogar Prime's comment. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, and I do like how they actually tried this societal issue of like, parental neglect. I thought that was it's a cute movie. It really is. But Rebirth of Mothra is like an even better execution of that kind of idea. It goes over an issue in Japan, namely ecological destruction and stuff. And I just love this movie. It has a nostalgic quality that I can't quite define, but even when I watched it, like, it instilled such a sense of nostalgia, despite the fact the first time I watched it, I was, 19, so it's not like I grew up with it or anything. It's like, but it gave me that warm, like, childhood feeling when I watched Rebirth of Mothra 1. And as a result, I can recognize its flaws, but it doesn't stop the fact that when Mothra died in this movie, it made me cry. So, for that alone, Godzilla tier. And, like, I'm sorry. I know people don't usually care about Rebirth of Mothra, but I don't care. I love this movie, and nobody's going to stop me on that front. I think this movie is great, underrated, and deserves way more respect. The problem is nobody actually puts any of the scenes. Like, and plus it gave us Mothra Leo, who is awesome. Like, come on. Mothra Leo. I love Mothra Leo. He's so cool. Like, he's beautiful. He's so cool. The special effects are a bit iffy. I'll give it that. But I can't hate this movie. I love this movie too much. So, Rebirth of Mothra is going on the Godzilla tier. Alright. You're rating the ones. Alright, Killer T, you're rating the ones so far. Alright. 8 out of 10 for 54. Give that a 10 out of 10 like it deserves. All right. Okay, so Mogar Prime. I'm gonna disagree with your comment real quick. You've seen the first two Rebirth of Mothra movies. They're so much fun. Great kaiju. I think that description applies to the first one, not the second one. But we'll get to Rebirth of Mothra 2 in due time, because I have some choice words about that film. Yeah. All right. Mothra vs. Godzilla, 7 out of 10. It's fair. Astro-Monster, look, I'm gonna give it that higher score. 5.5 out of 10. Man. All right. Let's go back to Showa era, since we have so many. We're starting to clear out the Showa era, so we might want to move on to a different. Godzilla vs. Hedorah is the weirdest film, I feel like, in the entire franchise. I really can't decide how I feel about this movie. I think I like it more in Destroy All Monsters. I like it more in City on the Edge of Battle. Yeah. This movie has so many cool... Hedorah has so many cool things, but it also has an equal number of things that are just atrocious. Like, I think Hedorah is one of the coolest monsters in the entire franchise. Like, and it's like the Destroyer of the Showa era, in my opinion. Like, he is the biggest threat that Showa Godzilla ever fights. I think Hedorah gave Godzilla a lot of problems. He melted his hand off, caused him to bleed. And the overall tone of Hedorah is so weird, and it's super dark as well. There's the one scene where he literally he flies over people and their skin melts off, like Raiders of the Lost Ark style. And that scene caught me so off guard. It is an absolutely absurd movie. My problem, though, is that its tone is so inconsistent. It has such a dark tone for most of it, but then it has stuff like Godzilla flying, you know. Let's see if we can find a good scene pack of the movie. No. It'll have stuff like this, and then it'll have crap like this. So I guess viewer discretion or whatever. This is a bit of a disturbing scene, so if you don't like really disturbing imagery, you can skip this scene. But it'll have Godzilla flying and then bullshit like this. What? What? But my problem is, outside of the inconsistent tone, the movie is too drawn out. It has the highest amount of screen time for Godzilla of any Showa movie, but that's also because he literally spends 90% of the movie standing still in a fight, doing this for some reason. Why is he like a cat? What? Why is he doing that? Let's pull up the scene of him actually fighting so I can prove my point here, because it's so weird why he spent so long. What is this move that he's doing right now? What is he doing? He's ooh. 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 What is he doing? Yeah, it's... And also, the music is atrocious in this movie. It is the worst soundtrack I've ever heard for a Godzilla movie, and it plays every 2 seconds, and it's so annoying. It's not a good theme. I don't know why they love playing it so much. Let's turn this off. Let's listen to it. It also does not fit the tone of the movie whatsoever. What is this theme? What is it? What am I listening to here? Yeah, no, that's enough of that. I respect so many things about this movie. I think the movie would be better if you just trimmed 15 minutes out of it. You could cut out 15 minutes of the fight scenes because they're so slow and poorly paced, and it'd make the movie significantly better. But as it stands, it gets Rodan tier. And I know our Rodan tier is getting very big, but that's just because most Showa movies kind of fall in that tier. Alright, let's move on to Heisei. Return of Godzilla. I like Return. I really do like Return. I think Return is super underrated. I think it was a great return to form for the series. It's not as good as 54, but I think this movie has a lot of great aspects. And I'm not talking about Godzilla 1985. I've never actually I've never seen Godzilla 1985, the American one, and I don't plan on it because it looks like ass. But the original Japanese version of Return of Godzilla it's slow. It kind of has similar pacing issues to Hedorah, but I think the movie and Godzilla looks a bit rough in it, but I love the political commentary in it. I think it was really well done, and I particularly love the scene where, it's the world leaders, like the Russian leader and the, American leader, and they're discussing, you to the prime minister, you gotta nuke Tokyo, you gotta kill Godzilla. And then the prime minister goes, if it was your country, would you have the courage to drop a nuclear bomb on your own country? And the Russian and the American immediately go silent because they know they can't. They don't have the courage to. So they shouldn't expect the prime minister to. And that scene was very powerful to me and made me instantly like the movie a lot more than I think most people would give it credit for. I think Return of Godzilla is a super underrated film in the franchise. And dude, if Sherfilla's Productions did a Godzilla ranking, that'd be awesome, but he's not much of a Godzilla fan, unfortunately. Yeah, like, we all know that the nuke would not have done jack shit, but... Also, fun fact about the American version, in the Japanese version, I'll just play the trailer footage in the back. I'm gonna start doing that. Great movie, belongs in Godzilla tier. And we'll continue on with Heisei, with Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. This movie's a masterpiece, man. I fucking love this movie. It is the most batshit insane fucking thing, I think, outside of one other Godzilla movie, but it is one of the most batshit insane movies I've ever seen. There were so many points where I had to pause the movie to just register what the hell was said. Like, let's just play a scene out of context. Like a scene from this movie. And just this fucking guy is so amazing. I love him. He carries so much of the movie, especially when he turns good. What's this comparison? Alright, let's skip ahead. Like this. Like, come on with that. Oh, it's like the discount Terminator. And then the thing is, though, the movie actually has really well done scenes like this, because the backstory is like this guy saw the original like Godzilla, because this version of Godzilla started off as the Godzillasaurus, and he kind of like he thanked it for saving his life from like an American attack group during World War II, and they finally reunite and it blows up. But because there's an equal number of batshit stupid fucking dumb shit that happens in this movie, but then there's so much actually good scenes, and the fight scenes are really good. You get Mecha King Ghidorah, which is awesome. You get the future traveling people. I think King Ghidorah's design in this movie is really good. And the final scene I'll play from this movie. Just dude, this scene comes out of actually nowhere. It has no relevance to the actual plot. It just shows up, and it caught me so off guard. I had to take a 15-minute break to just register what the fuck I just saw. And it's beautiful. So yes, if you're wondering, Steven Spielberg is canon, because this is his father. His son, Steven Spielberg, is canon to the Godzilla universe, or at least the Heisei series. So you have that going for us. Oh, shit.